Hare Krishna, Gurudev, no se escucha. Muchas gracias.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, there is no sound.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. No tenemos audio.
Okay. Hello, can you hear us now? Ya puede oírnos.
Sí,
Yes.
brother. Ahora se escucha. Yes.
Era un problema con el robot. Entonces, mientras vende David, si puede traducir.
Hare Krishna Gurudeva, please accept my humble obeisance. Yes, I'll try.
Sí. Aquí hay un biomolda. Today, this evening is our last night in Ruby Harban.
Así que esta es nuestra última noche en New Bihar Bam. Nueva Bihar Bam.
For a few days.
Por dos. Can you repeat, please?
Unos días.
Por unos días.
Okay. And we're looking at Upadesh Amrita.
Y estamos viendo el Upadesamrita.
Text number 5. Texto 5.
Número 5.
Krishna Yasha Girita Manasadriyeta. Krishnati Yasya Giritam Manasa Driyeta. Krishnati Yasya Giritam Manasa Driyeta. Dikshasti Chaitanatabes Chabhajantam Isham Shrushaya Bhajana Vignyam Ananyam Anya Nindadi Shunya Hridam Ipsita Sangalabhya. Did he say? One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna. Uno debe honrar mentalmente al devoto que canta el santo nombre del Señor Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation, diksha, Uno debe ofrecer humildes reverencias al devoto que se ha sometido a la iniciación espiritual Diksha and is engaged in worshiping the deity. Y está ocupado en adorar a la deidad. And one should associate with and faithfully serve. Y uno debe asociarse y servir fielmente al devoto puro que es adelantada en cuanto al servicio devocional, who is advanced in undeviating devotional service, whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others, y cuyo corazón está completamente libre de la propensión a criticar a los demás. So, this is a very nice verse.
Así que este es un verso muy bueno.
Yeah. When the Upadeshamrita was first published,
Cuando el Upadesamrita fue primero publicado,
it was a very, very great help.
fue de una gran ayuda,
Because now we could see that there were different kinds of devotees.
porque ahora podemos ver que hay diferentes tipos de devotos.
First, second, and third class devotees.
Devotos de primera, de segunda y de tercera clase.
Yeah. Third class devotees, they surrender to God.
Los devotos de tercera clase se rinden a Dios,
When there's some problem.
pero tienen algún problema,
Yeah. When they're afraid of death.
que están temerosos de la muerte.
No, when they are afraid of death.
Cuando ellos están temerosos de la muerte,
Or they're afraid of some material loss.
o están temerosos de alguna pérdida material,
Then they go to Krishna.
ellos van hacia Krishna.
Bhagavad Gita describes them.
El Bhagavad Gita los describe.
4 kinds of pious people approach me.
4 tipos de personas que se acercan a mí.
Yeah. Dhruva Maharaj, he was in need of wealth.
Dhruva Maharaj estaba necesitado de riqueza.
Different people, Prahlad Maharaj needed protection.
Y Prahlad Maharaj estaba necesitado de protección.
So there's different examples of devotees who approach Krishna in different circumstances.
Así que hay diferentes ejemplos de devotos que se acercan a Krishna en diferentes circunstancias.
This is happening constantly.
Esto está sucediendo constantemente.
Yeah, it always has happened, it always will happen.
I didn't get Gurudev.
Siempre ha pasado, siempre va a pasar. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There will always be people going to the hospital.
Siempre va a haber personas que vayan al hospital.
Yeah. That's just the nature of the material world.
Así que esa es la naturaleza del mundo material.
So if you open up a temple,
Así que si tú abres un templo,
it's guaranteed some people will come.
está garantizado que algunas personas vendrán.
Yeah. Because some people are ready.
Algunas personas están listas.
Yeah. But if we make some effort to make ourselves well known,
Pero si hacemos un esfuerzo para hacernos conocidos, bien conocidos,
then more people can come. Yeah.
más personas van a venir.
After each incarnation,
Después de cada encarnación,
Krishna and Balaram, they talk about that incarnation.
Krishna y Balaram hablan acerca de sus encarnaciones.
How could we have improved things? What happened?
¿Cómo podemos mejorar las cosas? ¿Qué va a suceder?
Yeah. How can we save more people?
¿Cómo podemos salvar a más personas?
Yeah. So there's always so much dynamic opportunity. Yeah.
Así que siempre hay esas oportunidades dinámicas.
Yeah. So Madhyama Adhikari is somebody who's accepting the process very seriously.
Así que un Madhyama Adhikari es alguien que acepta el proceso muy seriamente.
Yeah. He's been taking formal vows.
Y si tomamos estos votos formales,
Yeah. And he's engaged in worshiping Isha.
nos ocupamos en la adoración de Isha.
Yeah, that's the Sanskrit.
Ese es el sánscrito.
So we all know this word.
Así que todos conocemos esta palabra.
Ishvara. Yeah. It means the controller. Yeah.
Es el controlador.
But Prabhupada gives a very interesting translation in the purport.
Y Prabhupada da una traducción muy interesante en su significado.
Yeah. He says, Madhyama Adhikari has taken spiritual initiation from spiritual master.
Él dice que el Madhyama Adhikari está tomando la iniciación espiritual del maestro espiritual.
And
Y
he is engaged in worshiping the deity.
él está ocupado en adorar a la deidad.
That's how Prabhupada defines Isha.
Esto es como Prabhupada define Isha.
Yeah. So it's a very, very practical level. Yeah.
Así que es un nivel muy práctico.
Madhyama Adhikari is fixed in doing his duty.
El Madhyama Adhikari está fijo en ejecutar su deber.
Yeah. He has doubts.
Él tiene dudas,
Yeah. But he doesn't doubt the process. Yeah.
pero no son dudas acerca del proceso.
There's one argument.
Hay un argumento,
Because we say you shouldn't kill animals.
porque nosotros decimos que no se debe matar animales.
Yeah. You should be vegetarian.
Nosotros debemos ser vegetarianos.
Yeah. But then people argue.
Pero las personas argumentan.
Yeah, if you're killing plants, you're still killing.
Todavía estás matando.
Yeah, okay. And so I have my doubts. You know?
Así que tengo mis dudas
About this argument.
acerca de estos argumentos.
Esta argument, this argument. Yeah. But I was convinced that if I continued with the process,
Pero cuando ya estoy convencido y continúo con este proceso,
no, estoy demorando mucho, pienso que su conexión no está tan bueno. Sí puede traducir aquí. No es aquí. So, yo tuve, yeah. I think it's ours, it's her. It's ella, yeah. So I had, tuve, yeah, dudas, yeah, en cerca de respondiendo a este argumento. I had doubts about how to respond to this argument. But I didn't doubt the process. Pero no tuve dudas en términos del proceso. So I was thinking, yeah, eventually, yeah, it's okay. Eventually, I'll have an answer to this. So pensando, eventualmente voy a tener una respuesta a este argumento bueno. Yeah. So one day I was in the pujari room. Un día yo estuve en el cuarto de pujaris, abrigando la ropa para las deidades, organizing the clothes for the deities. Somebody was playing a cassette. alguien está tocando un cassette de una conferencia de Prabhupada. One conference, when Prabhupada was giving one lecture and talking with one person. And one man made exactly this argument. Un hombre hizo este argumento exactamente. So, and then Prabhupada said, yes, this is a fact, sí, es un hecho. Pero usted que está comiendo animales, no está comiendo bebés, muchachos. So you who are eating animals, you don't eat babies or children. The man said, no, no, claro que sí, of course not. And Prabhupada said, but you see that a child is just like an animal. They can't control themselves, they can't talk, they can't defend themselves. Puede ver que un muchacho es como un animal. Pero usted puede ver the potential. You can see the potential there. This child can become like this and that. Un muchacho puede madurar hasta este nivel. Okay. So esa es la idea, que sí. Hay violencia en matando animales, hay violencia en matando vegetales. There is violence in killing animals and killing vegetables. But the violence with the vegetables is much, much less. Pero la violencia con los vegetales is mucho menos. The plants are always in like a half sleeping stage. It says they have no real consciousness, but they feel a dull pain from within. Dicen que ellos, los verduras y todos plantas están en un estado de casi inconsciencia, esta conciencia de sol, luz, estas cosas, sun, light, sintiendo una pena, dolor interior, no muy fuerte, siempre. It's like sometimes when you wake up, you can't fully wake up, and you're there like, it's como a veces está despertando, no puede despertar completamente está en ese estado de un planta que es conciencia de cosas, pero no con mucha forma. You're conscious of things, but without any real form. So plants are always like that, and they can't come out of that. The plantas de esta manera, pero no puede dejar de esta manera. So when they lose their bodies, it's not such a big deal. Entonces, cuando dejan sus cuerpos, no es tan fuerte como un ser humano. Anteriormente, the Brahmins were so powerful that they could adjust things with animal sacrifices, right? Anteriormente, los Brahmanes eran tan poderosos que pudieron ajustar cosas por sacrificios. But now the Brahmanas can only do carrot sacrifices, right? The Kama Gayatri is offering carrots to Krishna. Sí, ahora podemos hacer sacrificios de zanahoria, no de caballos, no de seres humanos. Sí, entonces Krishna puede ajustar todo. And then Krishna adjusts everything, and the carrot that's sacrificed gets tremendous benefit, right? Tremendous benefit. Y la zanahoria que era sacrificado tiene beneficios muy fuertes, muy buenos. Sí. So this is a madhyamadhikari. They have faith in the process. Kanista adhikari, basically they doubt it. Oh, maybe it's not going to work. Maybe that's not correct. Madhyamadhikari tiene fe en el proceso, pero Kanista adhikari a veces tiene dudas del proceso. Oh, posible estoy en el sendero incorrecto. That's the basic thing. Madhyamadhikari is convinced he's on the right path. But Kanista adhikari doubts the path. See? Kanista adhikari tiene dudas del sendero. Madhyamadhikari está convencido, sí, estoy en el sendero correcto. Yeah. But Uttamadhikari has come to the conclusion. He reached the conclusion of the path. Uttamadhikari ha llegado a la conclusión del sendero. Y ha llegado a la ciudad místico de Oz and hablando con el mago de Oz. He's reached the magical city of Oz, and he's talking with the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, maybe there is an Oz, maybe there isn't. Well, I'm here. I'm just standing in it. Estoy aquí, estoy sentado, a pie aquí. Yeah. So we have so many experiences like that. Tantas muchas experiencias en nuestra sendero espiritual and our spiritual pathway. One time, Sridhar Maharaj, hermano espiritual de Prabhupada, Prabhupada's governor, he said you may belong to a very, very nice spiritual movement. Si pertenece a un movimiento espiritual muy bueno. That you may have very, very association, very, very nice Madhyamadhikari guru. may tiene asociación de un guru Madhyamaka muy bueno, you know, but your movement falls into great politics and civil war. There's un movimiento calle and gran política y guerra civil, and your Madhyamaka guru falls down. Your Madhyamaka guru se cayó. But in all circumstances, but in todas las circumstances, tiene que continuar. You have to continue. There's just, doesn't matter what happens. Okay. But I have to go on. You know, tengo que continuar. Yeah. ¿Por qué? Porque tenemos un guru Uttamadhikari. Because we have Uttamadhikari guru. We have Madhyamaka gurus, and yeah, we have very fortunate to have Srila Prabhupada's association as Uttamadhikari. Estamos muy afortunado tener asociación de Uttamadhikari, Srila Prabhupada. A veces la gente, por ejemplo, en Jesucristo, Prabhupada comentando que Jesus Christ is Uttamadhikari, in that sense, he's sufficient to qualify. Que Jesucristo es Uttamadhikari, esas cosas, ¿no? Pero a veces la conexión de ellos con su Uttamadhikari for different gurus no es tan fuerte. But sometimes people don't have that very nice, strong opportunity to associate with the Uttamadhikari through the different levels and so on, like maybe in Christianity or different things, you know? Yeah. So it's a very, very special opportunity to be only maybe one generation away from such a, you know, a powerful acharya. Es una oportunidad muy buena ser solamente una generación después de un acharya tan poderoso. Yeah. And maybe we did this because in our last lifetime we were Muslims, we were good Muslims or good Christians, and now, okay, we end up, you know, I mean, where there's an incarnation. Porque en vida pasada fuimos buen musulmanes, buen cristianos, yeah, estamos haciendo muy cerca de un acharya de la cualidad de Prabhupada, an acharya of Prabhupada's quality. Okay. So, you know, then sometimes problems will come. Sometimes. Always problems will come. Siempre viene problemas, social, physical, mental, you know, todos, you know. The three kinds of distresses, los tres tipos de sufrimiento, Adhyatmika klesha, Adhidaivika klesha y Adhibhautika. Yeah. For los otros seres, for other beings, for the naturaleza, by nature, by our own body and mind, you know. Yeah. And and so in all cases we can go on. You know, en todos casos, estamos continuando. Okay, tengo que hacer. What can I do? I was in the temple in Berkeley through so many problems for so many years. And pasando tiempo en el temple de Berkeley, San Francisco, por muchos años, de cambios de guru, cambios de presidente, conflictos con vecinos. Alguien, su micrófono está abierto, por favor, cerrar su micrófono. Microphone's open. Yeah. So we would go through changes in temple presidents, you know, changes in gurus, you know, so many problems. And sometimes I was the only person there who was like, you know, kind of a leadership type perspective. A veces yo la única persona allá en perspectiva de un leader, which tells you how bad things were. You know, I had to be the president. It was indicando que horrible eran las cosas, you know. Yeah. And then I would, you know, it would force me to try and purify my philosophy. Of course, you know, está impulsando que purificando mi filosofía, que somos, que tenemos que hacer. Yeah. I'm going to find out who the culprit is here. Okay, it's closed. Yeah. One devotee told me one time, una vez un devoto me dijo que Prabhupada dijo, no desfiar, no salir. One time one devotee told me, Prabhupada said, don't deviate, don't leave. Okay. So, Macachili, tiene cerrar su micrófono. Gotcha. Yeah. So it's okay, so yeah. And so I was applying this. Okay, what this is a problem. The guru's gone, this and that, everything else. And the city's trying to close the temple because we're not paying the water bill. El guru ha ido, different cosas pasando, la ciudad tratando de cerrar el templo porque no estamos pagando las deudas de la agua, you know. But what do I know I should do? Pero que conoce, que sabe, sé, que tengo que hacer. Okay, I know I should do my 16 rounds. I know I should do my for regular principles. Yeah, okay. I know I should be getting up early and reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, performing kirtan. Yo sé, tengo que estar mis rondas, tengo que seguir los 4 principios, tengo que levantar temprano y adorar la deidad. Okay, and so I was doing that. Estoy realizando esas cosas. And there are many different options here and there, like floating around, maybe this, maybe that, muchas diferentes opciones flotando aquí, allá, quizás esto. ¿No? But just engaging in devotional service, pues somebody de ocupar servicio devocional, poco a poco está clarificando, little by little, becoming more and more clear that, you know, one of the options just comes right in your face. It's like one of those opciones, estando cubriendo su rostro, covering your face. And so, remember, there's no option, which option you're going to take. No hay opción. No hay opción, ¿qué opción va a adaptar? So no por especulación mental, not by mental speculation, or so many things, but just by engaging in devotional service, you'll get knowledge. Solamente ocupado en servicio devocional va a obtener conocimiento muy claro, very clear, very solid. So it's a very nice process. Just do what you should know you should do. Okay. Tiene que hacer lo que pueda. Oh, no puede cantar 16 rondas. Estoy muy enfermo. I'm very sick. I can't check 16 rounds. Okay. As long as you can breathe, you can chant. Just que puede respirar. Puede cantar. Puede respirar. Sí, okay. Yeah, pienso que todos aquí, everybody here can breathe. Todos aquí puede respirar. So you go, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay. But is this the first priority? Pero eso es la prioridad primero. Yes, sí. Probably muy very claro, very clear. The first priority is chanting Hare Krishna. Primera prioridad is cantar Hare Krishna. Okay. And then specifically, with beads, con cuentas, like that and stuff. And you can, so it may take you 6 hours to chant your 16 rounds, posible 6 horas para cantar sus 16 rondas. But if that's what it takes, okay, then no problem. Pero eso es lo que requiere para realizar, no problema. That's the first requirement. Es el primer requisito. En va a ver que todas las demás cosas se está organizando de una manera, bueno, everything else is organizing well. If you takes you 6 hours to chant 16 rounds, okay. And that's what it takes. That's what Krishna wants. Si le quiere 6 horas para cantar 16 rondas, okay. Pero eso es la primera cosa que Krishna quiere. And va a ayudar a nosotros. He'll help us in so many ways. It's not just a mechanical thing. No es solamente una cosa mecánica que cantando tiene reacción con el psique, and this is the chanting has a psychological reaction, these kind of things. No, it's a personal relationship with Krishna. Es una relación personal con Krishna. So entonces por cantando estamos mostrando a Krishna que estamos dedicados a él. And by chanting, we're showing Krishna, this is what you want, I know, and I'm going to do it. And then Krishna will always adjust things. Krishna simply va a ajustar cosas. Money will fall from the sky. Dinero va a caer del cielo. Oh no! Malati tells the story. Malati dio un cuenta con Samasundar. Ellos no tuvieron dinero para pagar para la agua y todo para el templo in San Francisco. They didn't have money to pay for the temple in San Francisco, the water, everything else. And they were coming to Mangalartik one morning. Un día está pasando a Mangalartik temprano. And there was a nice wind blowing, breeze blowing, and brisa fuerte. And all these $20 bills started going down the street, which now would be $100 bills. Entonces esas notas de 20 está pasando en la calle, en claro ya va a ser 100. And they were laughing, está riéndose, and running and picking up the money, corriendo, sacando dinero. So yeah, it's un hecho, it's a fact. Krishna can do anything, you know. So we have to investigate. Tenemos que investigar. Si Prabhupada realmente es una fuente fidedigna de Krishna. If Prabhupada really, you know, we call it a representative of Krishna. And so usually it takes time to do the experiments. Realmente requiere tiempo para hacer the different experiences. You know? Si una vez is, I think everybody here has tried out, okay, I'm going to try this now. Oh, it works. You know, oh, si funciona. Okay. What if you don't eat meat, you'll get sick and die? Okay, wow, oh my gosh, you know, si no come carne, vas a convertir enfermo y se muere. But basically, some people think this, you know. A ver, gente piensa. Uno de mis familiares, cuando ellos convirtiendo a devoto, one of my family people, when I was converting with a devotee and adopting the principles, adaptando los principios, él dijo, I went without meat one day and I felt really sick. Yo pasó un día sin carne, yo sintió muy enfermo. Okay. Yeah. Or somebody else, otra persona, wow, if I don't smoke, I'll die. You know? Si no fuma, va a morir. Yeah, in the beginning, possibly. Maybe you will because your body is addicted. Okay, see? Yeah. So then Prabhupada supplies a very practical process for everybody. Prabhupada presentando un proceso que es tan flexible que cada persona puede tomar lo que necesita. So Prabhupada is giving a very flexible program that everybody can find out exactly what they need, you know. And doctor has to do that. He has to look at each patient individually. And general thing is there, you know, porque general está allá, but it's wasted para realmente tiene que aplicar en términos de su situación. You know, if you have to, you know, adopt it individually like that and so on. For example, somebody may say if there's very severe bleeding on a limb, you should apply a tourniquet. Okay. Okay. Si hay un muy sangre saliendo muy severamente, tiene que aplicar un how do you say tourniquet? Do you know what it means?
Yes, Gurudev, torniquete.
Torniquete. It's maybe a very important word to know. Torniquete. You know? But what if the person has a very serious head injury? Do you apply a tourniquet to the neck? Si la persona tiene una herida muy fuerte en la cabeza, no está usando un torniquete en la garganta. You know? So tiene que aplicar. You have to apply in different fashions. Yeah. So yeah. And that's why we have so many books. Por eso tenemos muchos libros y devotos que están. Unos devotos son a nivel de primero auxilios. Some devotees on the level of first aid, right? Okay, yeah. And some devotees on the level of ambulance attendants. Unos otros and they chauffeur de ambulancia, okay? Other people on the level of, what do you call it, interns, residents, and hospital hay un intern, okay, yeah, más fuerte. And otro es un doctor, another doctor, and otro es un especialista, you know, que puede funcionar. So entonces, we're encountering, you know, devotees with different level of purification and knowledge. Yeah, yes, okay. So, any questions or comments about this idea? Oh, aquí. What is your name? Hay un devoto aquí, Netisar Das. Está levantando su dedo. Yo tenía una pregunta. Yes.
A question about this verse.
Es una pregunta acerca de este texto.
What does it mean exactly to mentally honor the devotee?
So está preguntando que dice tiene que honrar al menos mentalmente un devoto que canta Hare Krishna. Okay, you know, is it in your mind you're respectful like that? You know, he's devotee, he's chanting. Okay, que en su mente está respetuoso cantando. Por ejemplo, estamos en la Ratha Yatra. Estamos in the Ratha Yatra. We're in the Ratha Yatra, and you know, some people maybe come once a year or something, or they come to festivals like this. Una gente viene una vez cada año participando, fiesta de domingo, and things like that. You know, yes, yeah. But you know, as devotee, he still has some attraction to marijuana. You know, his relationship with the opposite sex is not quite that regulated. You know, ¿ya? Conoce que es un devoto, pero está fumando un poco marihuana, ¿ya? Y tiene relaciones con diferentes chicas. Okay, ¿ya? So you know he's a devotee. He's chanting, he's coming, but he's not occurring. You know? So you're respectful. Hello, Prabhu, Hare Krishna, and good to see you. Oh, hola, Prabhu, muy buena ver usted. Okay, but that's so like that limit. And then if he's asking, oh, I heard the temple president had this problem, that problem, blah blah blah. I mean, he's oyendo que el presidente del templo tenía este problema, blah blah blah. Okay, you say. Yeah, these problems always happen. Everybody always has some problems and so on. And the devotees are dealing with it. Yeah. So respondiendo, sí, hay problemas siempre, en cada persona tiene sus problemas, and estamos relacionando con esas cosas. Yeah. So Madhyamadakari, and Prabhupada says you pay your obeisances. Está haciendo su reverencia a Madhyamadakari. And then you start talking on that level and respect and so on. And then, I heard there's some problem with temple president. You talk about what's happening with devotees and things like that. Yeah. Está hablando de, un problema con el presidente del templo. Está hablando de devotos and qué pasan generalmente. Uttama Adhikari, como Srila Prabhupada. Uttama Adhikari, Srila Prabhupada. And you start talking, the temple president starts talking this from his heart about what's happening. El presidente del templo está hablando de su corazón, que está pasando, and he's thinking, well, Prabhupada will never betray my trust, and Prabhupada nunca va a relacionar mal con mi confianza en él. Okay? Haribol, Prabhu. Okay, vamos a ver. Okay, una más de aquí es Kama Gayatri Devi Dasi. Aquí tiene una pregunta.
Sometimes devotional service feels better in the beginning, but then I was thinking.
Okay, ella tenía pregunta que a veces el servicio devocional se sienta bueno en la comienza.
So, how do you know if you're like doing too much austerity? And then, is there a way that we can check to make sure your false ego stays out of it and that you're pushing yourself, but just enough to do what you want to do?
Hay una manera por la cual podemos distinguir que estamos realizando austeridades de un modo saludable, that we're accepting austerities in a healthy fashion. Yeah, okay. There's a phrase in English, en frase en inglés, it says, death is God's way of telling you it's time to slow down. La muerte es un modo por el cual Dios está comunicando, es tiempo para ser un poco más despacio. But in some ways it's that simple. You just have common sense. I'm getting sick, or I'm becoming angry. What is the result? Yeah, I'm not increasing my love for Krishna. No está aumentando mi amor para Krishna. And de una manera simple. So if we keep the association of devotees, asociado con devotos, then we can see what's happening. We're in goodness, estamos en bondad. And claro, en las escrituras hay detalles, específicamente, there's details in Prabhupada's books. Yeah. Prabhupada says if we adopt the austerities of Raghunath Das Goswami, we won't advance. We will become sinful. Prabhupada comentando que estamos tratando de adaptar las austeridades de Raghunath Das Goswami, no vamos a avanzar, nos vamos a convertir pecaminosos. Niyamagraha. Why are we adopting the austerities? Porque estamos adaptando esas austeridades. And then we can see, I'm not getting that result. Okay. Pero vea que no estoy obteniendo los resultados. If you speak Hindi, you understand Spanish. Se habla Hindi. Okay, una pregunta es aquí de los devotas. Online.
Reverencias Maharaj, buenas noches.
Buenas noches, día de Vidasi.
Maharaj, lo que usted comentaba acerca de los doctores y los residentes y los niveles de urgencia, yo lo relacionaba.
In terms of doctors and the different levels of residents and interns. Yeah. Yes.
Y el nivel de urgencia del alma.
And the level of
Yo lo,
emergency.
yo lo relacionaba también como cuando los devotos toman cartas muy específicas de Srila Prabhupada y las aplican a todo, como que el interno fuera el doctor y no vieran esos niveles, ¿no?
Yeah. And so then devotees take Prabhupada's instructions and just apply them to everybody, right? They're taking Prabhupada's instructions or letters, taking letters from Prabhupada and try to apply them to everybody, not considering the time, place, and circumstance. Sí, es un problema.
Sí, o sea, lo relacionaba como que nosotros pretendiéramos que el primero que nos atendió en el hospital fuese a reemplazar al doctor especialista. O sea, eso es como la motivación para nosotros tomar refugio de un maestro espiritual.
Yeah. Yeah, again, the idea is there's a specialist. Even, maybe you have a knee injury. So first aid is to disable, they would immobilize, yeah. Then maybe the ambulance attendants has to maybe do some to cut artery, you know, okay. And then you get to the hospital, the internist also maybe take an x-ray, okay, this immobilization is good. The next day, the regular doctor comes in and looks at it and okay, you need some surgery here. But you're gonna have to find a specialist and do some special work on this. Yeah. Yeah. ¿Está bien?
Gracias, Maharaj.
Really, gracias. Wow. So I think maybe we're going to maybe terminate the class here. Pienso que vamos a terminar la clase aquí, ¿no? Porque yo entiendo que estoy realizando austeridades, because I realize I'm not realizing austerities. I'm about to die. Una vez en Calcuta, estamos allá preparando para una conferencia muy fuerte, symposium. One time we were in Calcutta organizing a symposium. And it was the hottest summer in 35 years, más caliente verano en 35 años. And my first summer in India, primero, no sé si verano in India, even the street dogs were complaining on los perros de calle. You know? So my first time there. You know? And so nuestro primero discípulo, Raktak, dijo, oh, you're realizing very severe austerities, está realizando austeridades muy severas. And I was thinking about it, pensando en lo. And I come no, I'm realizing severe austerities, yeah, but not very severe austerities. Yeah, austeridades severas, pero no muchas. Because every weekend, cada dos fines de semana, every 2 weekends, I would just stop the bus from the Mayapur from the Calcutta temple. It would stop in front of my door and go on to to Mayapur. Porque el bus del templo de Calcutta, en su ruta al Mayapur, estaba abrigando que parando directamente en frente de mi puerto. Estoy subiendo. I would get up and then Mayapur. So every 2 weeks I could go to Mayapur and stuff and stay, quedar por unos días. Disfrutando la paz and different cosas de asociación, enjoying the peace and the association. And also in Bengal, is there any shortage of fruit in Bengal? No, I must say, escasez de fruta in Bengal. This is increíble. So I was enjoying that. And also then, in our temples in the West, sometimes you get rasagulas and, if the devotees cooking for the deities, a veces hay rasagulas and esas cosas. Pero in Bengal, you puede caminar, 3 minutos, hay un tienda vendiendo 100 different tipos de dulces bengalis. Just 3 minutes walk away was a sweet store with 100 different types of Bengali sweets. I could buy them and offer them to Sringadev. So puede comprar cualquier dulce Bengali, Then I was adjusting, ajustando. And I was ready in some ways, I was ready for what for other people would have been very impractical. Severe austerities. I maybe 25 pounds less than I am now or something, So I was era listo para realizar estas austeridades. Okay, sin daño, without causing problem in my body. And because of that, we were able to organize this big international science congress. Y por eso fuimos capaces de organizar esa conferencia fuerte. When Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj arrived, after I was there for all this time, cuando Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj está llegando después de tanto tiempo, realizando esas seriedades. In the beginning, it was a little critical. Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do that? I was feeling a little hurt. Comencé a estar poco criticando. Porque no hizo esto, no contacto a esas personas. Me sintiendo un poco, mal estado. But after some time, he opened the suitcase up and he was laughing and he said, Maharaj, please forgive me. Después abriendo su maletín and está pidiendo disculpas. Maharaj, por favor, discúlpame. I had forgotten what it's like here. Estoy olvidando que está aquí. And the papers and the documents in the suitcase had gotten so, just from the humidity, had gotten so wet, the pages were sticking together. Like that. Solamente por la humedad, las papeles en su maletín era congelando, una a otro. Everything, the difference in language. Okay, yeah. So está recordando las dificultades. Entonces sí, apreciando, sí. But I was careful not to do too much. Okay, every 2 weeks I go to Mayapur and I can buy some Bengali sweets and fruit and stuff. But yeah, I was. In Mangalartik, I was dancing. I had to be very careful to remain balanced because a little bit off balance I would fall down. Mangalartik tuvo que ser muy cuidadoso mantener mi equilibrium, porque equilibrio por un poco a la izquierda o a la derecha cayendo en el piso, bailando. Even our little Shingadev deity looked disturbed. Mr. Deidad and the Shingadev was but el resultado era allá. So the result was there, and then feeling, this is very worthwhile. And Maharaj, pensando que esa austeridad es muy útil, and Maharaj was more and more, más y más, he was apreciando nuestras actividades, porque hemos sido contactos con diferentes personas fuertes, buenos, poco a poco, and he was very happy. One person, he was an attorney for the Supreme Court of India, abogado para la Corte Suprema de India in Calcutta. So when I went there with my friends, cuando iba por allá con mis amigos, recibiendo nosotros en un cuarto exterior, he received us in an external room, talking about the programs, hablando de los programas. Pero cuando yo vine con Maharaj, con sus lentes, su ropa de seda, he had his glasses and his silk and everything. Prabhupada told him to do that. Prabhupada le dio hacer esas cosas. Somos llegando, and inmediatamente cuando es mirando a nosotros con Maharaj, immediately when he saw us with Maharaj, he invited us to the inside of the house, invitando a nosotros en la parte interior. Entonces, eso es correcto. Yo soy Hanumatpresaka, estoy investigando cosas, and the Maharaj was the king. So it was very, very, muy bueno, muy buen regla. And so, so realizando austeridades, observando si hay resultado, and then lo que puede. Y entonces, sí, Krishna está feliz. Krishna is happy. So any final comments here, questions? I guess not. Okay, thank you very much. Now take sufficient hot milk. Así suficiente leche caliente con azúcar, which contains tryptofano, que es una droga muy agradable. Hare Krishna. Mañana por la mañana salimos del templo a las 3:15, leaving the temple at 3:50 in the morning. So, and we'll be in transit until 3:45 in the afternoon, in tránsito hasta 3:45 por la tarde, which is 2:45 here. And so I don't know, no sé cuál tipo de conexión que vamos a tener. I think we'll have WhatsApp most of the way. Almost WhatsApp. Okay. Haribol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Have a nice trip. All glory to Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Muchas gracias, Hare Krishna.
Bol, buen viaje. Haribol, Vaishnavas. Muchas gracias.
Or something. Okay. All right. What least? Yeah. Okay.
Buen viaje.
Digo, Hare Krishna to all the devotees.
Maharaj, muchas gracias, Maharaj. Hanumatpresaka, Swami Maharaj. ¿Qué?